Welcome to English StoryCafe. Today, we will explore how to learn English from zero. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, deep ocean. The water stretches out as far as your eyes can see, meeting the horizon in a blur of blue and gray. You are standing on the dry sand of the shore, and you want to get to the other side. But you do not have a boat. You do not even know how to swim. This is exactly how it feels when you decide to learn a new language, specifically English, from scratch. It feels overwhelming. It feels massive. You look at the textbooks, the movies without subtitles, the fast conversations of native speakers, and you think to yourself that it is impossible. You think that you are too old or not smart enough, or that you simply lack the talent for languages. But I am here to tell you a different story today. I am here to tell you that standing on that shore is the most exciting place you can be. Because learning English from zero is not about memorizing a dictionary. It is not about suffering through boring grammar drills until your head hurts. It is a journey of discovery, a process of unlocking a new version of yourself. Today, we are going to walk through this journey together, step by step, not as a lesson, but as a narrative of how the human brain naturally absorbs a new language. Let us begin by destroying a myth. There is a common belief that some people are just born with a language gene, and others are not. You might look at a friend who speaks fluent English and think they have a special gift. But consider this simple fact. Every single human being on this planet has already learned a language from zero. You did it when you were a baby. You did not have a textbook. You did not have flashcards. You did not study the difference between the past tense and the present perfect tense. Yet by the time you were 5 years old, you were fluent in your native language. You could joke, you could argue, you could tell stories. How did you do that? You did it through immersion, through listening, and through the desperate desire to connect with the people around you. This is the secret we need to return to. To learn English from zero, we must think like a baby again. The first phase of your journey is what linguists call the silent period. Think about a newborn baby. For the first year or so of their life, they don't speak. They don't say sentences. They just listen. They observe. They watch their mother's mouth move. They hear the intonation of their father's voice. They are absorbing data. When you start learning English, you must allow yourself to have this silent period. Do not force yourself to speak on day one. That is a recipe for frustration. Instead, flood your brain with the sounds of English. You might ask, how can I listen if I don't understand anything? This is a valid question. The key is something called comprehensible input. This means you need to listen to or read things that you can mostly understand, even if you miss a few words. If you try to watch a Hollywood movie immediately, it will sound like noise. It's too fast. But if you watch a video designed for children or a slow story specifically for learners, your brain starts to pick up patterns. You begin to realize that certain sounds repeat. You start to associate the word apple with the picture of the red fruit. You're not studying, you are decoding. In the beginning, your goal is not perfection. Your goal is exposure. Imagine your brain is a sponge. A dry sponge can't wipe up a spill. You need to get it wet first. Listening is how you wet the sponge. You should listen to English while you wash the dishes. You should listen while you commute to work. You should listen while you are falling asleep. It doesn't matter if you zone out sometimes. It doesn't matter if you only catch 5% of what is being said. The rhythm of the language is slowly seeping into your subconscious mind. You are training your ears to hear where one word ends and the next one begins. This is the foundation. Without this, nothing else works.
Instead of memorizing lists, you should learn words through stories. When you encounter a new word in a story, it has an emotional context. It is attached to a character or a situation. Let's say you are reading a simple story about a boy who loses his dog. You read the sentence, "The boy felt miserable." You might not know what miserable means, but you know he lost his dog. You know he is sad. So your brain makes a connection. Miserable is a deep, heavy kind of sadness. You did not need a dictionary to tell you that. You felt it through the context. When you learn words this way, they stick. They become part of your memory because they are connected to a feeling. This is why reading is your best friend. But again, forget the heavy novels for now. Read simple things. Read children's books. Read graded readers, which are books written specifically for learners at different levels. When you read, do not stop at every word you do not know. If you stop to look up every word, reading becomes a chore. It becomes painful. Just keep going. Guess the meaning. Trust your intuition. If a word is truly important, it will appear again. And when it appears again, in a different sentence, your understanding of it will become clearer. Now, let us address the elephant in the room. Grammar. The word alone makes many people sweat. We have painful memories of school teachers drawing diagrams on chalkboards, talking about auxiliary verbs and dangling participles. Here is the liberating truth about learning English from zero. You do not need to study grammar rules to communicate. In fact, studying grammar too early can actually hurt your progress. It makes you overthink. When you are trying to speak, if you are mentally scanning a grammar table to figure out the correct conjugation, you will stutter. You will freeze. The flow is broken. Think about your native language again. Can you explain the complex grammatical rules of your own mother tongue? Most people cannot, yet you speak it perfectly. You learned the grammar by feeling it. You know when a sentence sounds wrong, even if you cannot explain why. You developed this intuition through massive amounts of listening and reading. The same will happen with English. Eventually, you will hear a sentence and you will just know that it needs the past tense. You will not think about the rule, you will just feel the rhythm. Focus on the message, not the mechanics. As months pass and you continue to fill your mind with English sounds and stories, something magical will happen. You will find words bubbling up in your throat. You will be walking down the street and you will see a tree, and the word tree will pop into your head before the word in your native language. This is the sign that you are ready to start speaking. This transition from passive listening to active speaking is often the scariest part of the journey. It is scary because of one thing: the fear of making mistakes. We are terrified of sounding stupid. We are afraid that if we use the wrong verb or pronounce a word incorrectly, people will laugh at us. But we must reframe this. Mistakes are not failures. Mistakes are data. Every time you make a mistake and someone corrects you, or you realize it later, your brain upgrades its software. You cannot learn to walk without falling down. You cannot learn to ride a bike without scraping your knees. And you cannot learn English without speaking broken English first. Embrace the broken English. Wear it like a badge of honor. It proves you're trying. It proves you're brave enough to step out of your comfort zone. Start small. Talk to yourself. Narrate your day. When you're making coffee, say out loud, "I am making coffee." The water is hot. I smelled the beans. It might feel silly at first to talk to an empty room, but you are training your mouth muscles. English requires different movements of the tongue and lips than your native language. You need to physically practice these movements. One of the most powerful techniques for this is called shadowing. It is very simple. You play a short audio clip of a native speaker. It could be a podcast, a YouTube video, or a line from a movie. You listen to it, and then you repeat it immediately, trying to copy not just the words, but the emotion, the speed, and the melody of the voice. You act like a parrot. If the speaker sounds angry, you sound angry. If they pause, you pause. This technique bridges the gap between your ears and your mouth. It helps you find the rhythm of English, which is often more important than the pronunciation of individual letters.
See, this is the fuel that keeps the engine running. Learning a language is not a sprint, it is a marathon. You cannot cram English into your brain in one weekend. Studying for 10 hours on Sunday and then doing nothing for the rest of the week is useless. It is much better to study for 20 minutes every single day. It is the small, repeated actions that compound over time. It is like brushing your teeth. You do not brush your teeth for 2 hours once a week. You do it for 2 minutes twice a day. Treat English the same way. Create an immersion bubble in your home. Change the language settings on your phone to English. It forces you to learn navigation words. Follow social media accounts that post in English. When you open Instagram or TikTok, let the algorithm feed you English content. Listen to English music and actually look up the lyrics to understand what they are singing. Watch your favorite TV show, one you have seen a million times, but watch it in English. Since you already know the plot, you can focus on the language. You are tricking your brain into learning while you are being entertained. There will be days when you feel stuck. This is called the intermediate plateau. You move from 0 to a basic level relatively quickly, which feels great. But then progress seems to slow down. You feel like you're using the same words over and over again. You feel like you are not getting any better. This is a dangerous time because this is when many people quit. But you must understand that this plateau is an illusion. You are still learning, but the things you are learning are more subtle. You are refining your understanding. You are deepening your neural pathways. Do not quit on the plateau. The breakthrough is waiting just on the other side. During these tough times, remember your why. Why did you start this journey? Was it to get a better job? Was it to travel the world without fear? Was it to understand the lyrics of your favorite songs? Or was it simply to prove to yourself that you could do it? Keep that motivation clear in your mind. Visualize yourself speaking fluently. Imagine yourself sitting in a cafe in London or New York or Sydney, ordering a coffee and chatting with the barista effortlessly. Visualization is a powerful tool. It keeps the fire alive when the study sessions feel dry. Another important aspect of learning from 0 is understanding culture. Language does not exist in a vacuum. It is the expression of a culture. When you learn English, you are also learning about how English speakers view the world. You will notice that English is a very direct language. You will notice how politeness is constructed, how humor is used. Be curious about the culture. Watch interviews with actors or musicians. Watch documentaries. The more you understand the culture, the more the language will make sense. Idioms and slang, for example, are pure culture. When someone says, "It's raining cats and dogs," that is a cultural image. Learning these little phrases adds color to your black and white vocabulary. Let us also talk about accents. Many learners are obsessed with having a perfect American or British accent. They feel ashamed of their native accent. Let me tell you something important. Your accent is your history. It tells the story of where you come from. As long as you are clear and understandable, your accent is not a problem. It's charming. It's unique. Do not waste energy trying to sound exactly like the Queen of England. Focus on clarity. Focus on being understood. Over time, your accent will naturally soften as you listen more. But do not let the pursuit of a perfect accent stop you from speaking today. As you progress from 0, you will notice that your personality changes slightly when you speak English. This is a phenomenon reported by many bilingual people. You might feel bolder or more polite in English than in your native language. Embrace this new persona. It's a fresh start. If you are shy in your native language, use English as a mask to be more outgoing. It's a psychological trick, but it works. You are building a new identity, an English-speaking version of yourself. Let's dive a little deeper into the tools you can use. We live in the golden age of self-education. Podcasts, like the one you are listening to right now, are incredible resources. You can find podcasts on any topic that interests you. If you love gardening, listen to a gardening podcast in English. If you love history, listen to history. This is crucial. Learn English through topics you love. If you hate politics, do not read political news in English just to learn. You will be bored and you will quit. If you love cooking, watch recipe videos. When you are interested in the subject matter, the language barrier becomes smaller because your curiosity pulls you forward. Journaling is another quiet but effective tool. Buy a small notebook. Every night, write 3 sentences about your day in English. Just 3 sentences. Today I went to work. It was raining. I ate a sandwich. It is simple, but it forces your brain to recall vocabulary and structure sentences. Over time, 3 sentences will become a paragraph. A paragraph will become a page. You will be able to look back at your first entries and see how much you have improved. That visual proof of progress is incredibly motivating. Now, I want to address the feeling of frustration that comes when you cannot find the right word. You are in the middle of a sentence and your mind goes blank. It is a horrible feeling. You feel helpless. When this happens, do not panic. Do not switch back to your native language immediately. Try to explain around the word. If you forget the word for umbrella, say, the thing you hold to stop the rain. This is a skill called circumlocution. It is what fluent speakers do when they forget words too. It keeps the conversation flowing and keeps your brain in English mode. You must also learn to be kind to yourself. There will be days when you feel like you have forgotten everything. You will try to speak and nothing will come out right. You will feel like you have gone backward. This is normal. Language learning is not a straight line up. It is a jagged line with ups and downs. On the bad days, just do the bare minimum. Listen to one song, read one page, but do not stop. The bad days are just part of the cycle. Your brain is consolidating information even when you feel like you are failing. Let's talk about the concept of thinking in English. This is the holy grail for learners. When you translate everything in your head from your native language to English, it is slow and exhausting. You want to reach the point where the thought appears directly in English. How do you get there? You get there by eliminating translation. When you see a table, do not think of the word for table in your language and then translate it. Look at the object and say, table. Label the world around you directly in English.
Stop using bilingual dictionaries that give you the translation. Start using learners' dictionaries that explain the English word using simpler English words. This keeps your brain in the English loop. As we move deeper into this journey, consider the social aspect of language. Language is connection. It is the bridge between two souls. When you learn English, you are not just learning to order food. You are unlocking access to billions of people. You can make friends from Japan, from Brazil, from Germany, because English is the common ground. You can access the majority of the internet. You can read books that have never been translated. The world becomes bigger. The walls come down. This is the true reward. It is not the certificate on the wall. It is the freedom to connect. There is a specific technique for those starting from zero called the gold list method or similar spaced repetition systems. While I said not to memorize lists, spaced repetition is different. It is a way of reviewing words right before you are about to forget them. Apps like Anki or simple flashcards can help with this. But remember, these are supplements. They are the vitamins, not the meal. The meal is real content, stories, conversations, videos. Do not spend all your time on flashcards and think you are learning the language. You are just memorizing data. You need to see the data in the wild, in real sentences, for it to become real language.
Let's revisit the child's mind one more time. Children are curious. They ask why constantly. Be curious about the language. When you see a strange phrase, ask yourself why it is said that way. Look it up. Be a detective. English is full of strange history and influences from French, German, Latin, and Greek. It is a messy, beautiful patchwork of a language. Enjoy the mess. Do not get frustrated by the irregularities. English is famous for breaking its own rules. Just laugh at it and accept it. So, where do you start today? Right now. You start by making a commitment, a promise to yourself. You promise that you will invite English into your life every single day. You do not need to move to America. You do not need to spend thousands of dollars on courses. You have everything you need right now. You have your ears, your voice, and the internet. Start with listening. Find a story. Let it wash over you. Do not stress about understanding every word. Just listen. Then, tomorrow, listen again. Read a little. Speak a little. Shadow a little. And day by day, the fog will lift. The noise will turn into music. The strange sounds will turn into familiar words. And one day, you will be standing on that other shore. You will look back across the ocean and realize that you swam the whole way. You will realize that the person who started the journey is not the same person who finished it. You will be stronger, wiser, and more open to the world. The journey of learning English from zero is one of the most rewarding things you will ever do. It is difficult, yes. It takes time, yes. But every step is a victory. Every new word is a key opening a locked door. So, take that first step. Put on your headphones. Open that book. Say that first hello.
The world is waiting to hear what you have to say. Do not keep them waiting. Thank you for joining us at English Story Cafe. Keep listening, keep dreaming, and never stop learning.